And we're back today. It's been a wonderful, wonderful time in Europe the last few weeks. And I'm excited to be back live again today. Appreciated our rerun shows. John, thank you for picking up the slack while I was gone. John did a great job. I watched the shows. He did great. The one thing that I was looking forward to coming back was the Headbangers Brew. I missed it. So, I drink coffee as I go, and I've had, well, I traveled 27 hours yesterday to get back. It was a long day. Had a little bit of coffee in the airport. I've had coffee in Switzerland and Sweden and Denmark and Germany, and this is still the best. I just have to say, this is still the best. Headbangers Brew. And it's what we use to further the ministry here with our homeless and with our trafficking people, and I'm excited that we're able to use it, but have such a great flavor of coffee to do it as well. So anyway, great to be back. So yesterday I had a very long trip. The flight that I was supposed to take, originating in Denmark, I flew from Denmark yesterday. They canceled the flight, so I had to take an earlier one, which meant that I had to leave my hotel at 2:45 in the morning to drive to Billund. Billund is, by the way, where Legos are made. That's the home of Legos and the original Legoland. Yes. And so flew to Billund, or drove to Billund, flew from Billund to Frankfurt, and had a long stay over there. I had to take a very early flight and then a long layover in Frankfurt. I was in Frankfurt the week prior, and I went up to the counter with a guy, and and he looked at me and he goes, "You're Pastor Bob." And he kind of whispers to me and he goes, "I'm a metalhead." And he looked like a very straight-laced guy. Said, "I'm a metalhead. I know who you are." He says, "I'm going to take good care of you," and he did. Yeah, but anyway, so finally got on the road from Frankfurt, and then, but the flight was delayed, and we sat in the tarmac for a long time, and then got into Washington D.C. way too late and missed my connecting flight to Nashville. So I had to fly to Newark and then to Nashville. It took a lot longer, 27 hours of traveling. Yeah. But I thought I would be more tired, and I'm not. And the trip was great, and the festivals were great. We're going to do a little reminiscing today. And I have the At the Mountain guys here, and I've spent some great time with them in Denmark. We did 5 concerts, I guess, 4 or 5 concerts, and just a great time with them. The music was phenomenal. We'll talk about that. Had a great time at Elements of Rock Festival last week, and just so good to see everybody again. 20th anniversary of Elements of Rock. 20 years ago we started, and so good to be back with Mike Hauser and all the folks there. And just it's like coming home, family, people that I've known for so long, and so good to see again. And then Denmark, same thing, great family, people bringing their children to meet me, and I love that part. And then Sweden, that's our oldest festival, really, 26 years that we started Bob Fest, and then this year was the first year of the new name, Light the Dark, which is a great name, and we had doing this. Okay, sorry, I'm not sure what's going on. It's a spam call coming in. Yeah. So anyway, so we did in Sweden. We had, of course, Tourniquet playing. Great show. David Husvik from Extol on the drums, Ted was a good friend of mine in a tourniquet, and I know he was a killer drummer, but can I just say that David pulled it off? It was, oh my gosh, it was incredible. He's every bit the drummer that Ted was. He really is. And, I've been good friends with David for a very long time, and it was great to spend a lot of time with him there too. But the guys did a great job. And of course, White Cross did both festivals with me. And I'll be with them again in September at Loud and Proud. But yeah, just a great, 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 great time. Great time. And the best part of it for me is spending time individually with people that have become family through all of these years. And it was just really great to be back. So great show ahead today. As I said, the guys from At the Mountain will be here in just a minute. And we have Rex Scott from X Center, my good friend, and want to chat with him about what's going on with the band and all things X Center. They got a great show coming up that we want to make sure we talk about. And so much to talk about, like this weekend. This weekend is the Sanctuary Gathering, and it's called You Are Unique, just like everyone else. I'm going to have fun with this one. And I hope you'll join us on Saturday at 3 p.m., this Saturday, April 5th. And then again on Sunday, we'll do, we always do Sundays, but this Sunday will be no different. So Saturday and Sunday, if you're able to join us both days right here at the Storehouse at Sanctuary. Always a good time together. Always great to see our Nashville friends. And then we have people that drive a ways too to come. So we appreciate people that will do that too. So I have my friends from At the Mountain here, and I'm not sure how many of them are joining us, but John, let's bring them on. I'm excited to talk about Denmark. There they are. Good to see you guys. All right. So I watched, but you guys did some great music. Really good time to be back with the folks in Denmark, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, it was pretty amazing.
Yes. So none of you guys are currently living there.
Nope. A little south of there.
Except for Morton, and he's not joining us today. But Andreas, you're back there. You're going to be moving back to Denmark again, and everybody's so excited for that to happen. Jonas, it was a good homecoming for you. Denmark is your old stomping grounds, isn't it? Oh, I think your sound isn't on. You're dragging
Boom.
a bit. Okay,
there we go.
There we go.
No,
Good.
what really surprised me was how many people actually came out, from the old crowd. People who actually were there before even Barricades were born. I mean, Andreas, Barricades, you were there. But
Yeah.
some of the guys who were from even before that, they came out to this event and said they've been missing this. And they were ecstatic. They were happy about it. I mean, it was just amazing.
Well, so good. And let's just give kind of an overall view of what happened. You guys, again, have put together not just a band, but a worship band called At the Mountain, worship songs. And the songs are projected on the screen. People can sing along. And that's one of the gatherings. But the coolest thing, the first show was at the boarding school. And Andreas, you went to that boarding school, and your father was a teacher there for a whole lot of years. I've been there many times with you. We actually did the Green Light District Festival together at the boarding school for a few years, and with a lot of bands and a whole festival. And it was interesting to be back after all this time. of course, all of those people from yesteryear are graduated with families and they've moved on. And a new crop of people at the boarding school now. These are guys that they're youngsters, 15, 16, 17 years old. And it was cool while you guys were playing to watch them. And we could tell they were metalheads because metalheads move a little differently than everybody else. Some headbanging, some, moving with the music, and so cool. And so I got up a little closer. I stood right by them at the front as you guys were playing. And I watched them. And they were singing along. And then I noticed they weren't reading the words. They already knew your songs. They had already downloaded from Spotify. They knew the songs. They were excited about it. And I thought, this is really exciting. Andreas, this is the next generation, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Coming up.
Yeah. If I may just explain a little bit of what I experienced with at the mountain, it's just it's an amazing faith walk for music work where we try to play skillfully and then be prepared for when God sends us. And we've been praying a lot about where do you want us? So we were wondering if it was a tour in the African bush in Kenya, since Jonas and Terry are from there, or if it would be the United States, or where we would play. And then we ended up playing at 3 churches in Denmark, plus this boarding school where a lot of the Christian metal fellowship happened back in the day, in the mid 2000s. And it was just amazing to see how God used this for His glory, and the excitement for people coming together, like Jonas mentioned, in Aarhus, and also the boarding school where the kids just had a fire for Jesus. It was they had done it's a Christian boarding school. They had done devotionals the weeks leading up to, and actually played our songs in the devotional. So they were prepared, and their hearts were prepared. Could definitely tell.
Right.
Yeah.
And so much fun. Terry, this was a great experience for you. This was your first time in Denmark, right?
Yes, yeah, my very first time in Denmark, and I got to see and do a lot of things that I've never done before, such as eat bread that has cheese and jam on it at the same time.
Yes.
It made no sense in my head, but it sure did in my mouth.
I know. Exactly. And you probably had brown bread. Good.
Oh, yeah.
Brown bread. That's the best. Yes.
Yep. I had a lot of that, and great hospitality from the people there.
Yes.
I mean, I came back, I've got a little bit of a cold, so going from the different temperature that I was not used to anymore back to
sure.
Kenyan.
Yes.
But
yeah.
Yeah.
You guys have a little bit warm in Kenya. Just a little.
Yeah.
warm.
On average where I'm at, it's probably about 80 to 85 degrees Fahrenheit in the afternoon. But there was probably 45 to 50 degrees in the afternoon.
Yeah.
So we experienced that, but
a little different.
The scene was awesome.
Yes, absolutely. Well, one of the churches, the second one, was iconic. The church was built in the 11th century. It's got that age to it. Beautiful carvings. What a dichotomy with, heavy metal in an 11th century church.
Yeah.
Was awesome, wasn't it? Great show. Jonas, it was not only a great show, but the crowd really appreciated it. It was not only metalheads coming to the show, but it was the older people from the community.
Yeah, I was about to say, some of the people who showed up for these shows are even older than you. No offense, but they were. It was actually the older crowd coming out. It was a local crowd. And it really surprised me because we had one show in Aarhus where, of course, a lot of the old metalheads came because it was more like a reunion kind of thing. But for all the other shows, there were barely any metalheads. It was actually the local people from the local churches coming to see what is this worship all about. And it was quite interesting interesting because none of them really described it as metal anymore. They're just in the room and in that experience, in that feeling. And for them, it was just great worship. They didn't consider the genre. They didn't talk about what it sounded like. They were just in the moment. And you had people sitting there in tears, like literally in tears, crying. And we're like, what's happening? I mean, yeah, it was just weird. It was crazy.
It was, and it was such a great experience to have that. There's the shot of the church right there. That was the second concert in that church. Again, a beautiful church, and a lot of these small communities in Denmark. This is the churches they still worship in. The churches that have been there 10th, 11th, 12th century, mostly 11th century. The third concert was in a church in Aarhus, where I have spoken before. I think you guys have attended before. Again, a great time with those folks. And then the last concert was kind of a combination. Simon Strunza and both pastors in Denmark, both pastoring in the same denomination, friends in two locations, joined forces, and we did a heavy metal worship, a heavy metal church service, and they both wore their long robes and traditional Lutheran attire with the heavy metal. My favorite time was you guys do a song that's a Danish hymn. And when you did that song, not only did the people start to sing along, but they all stood up to sing and totally loved it. And it was good to see little grandmothers and the heavy metal guys, everybody together worshiping the Lord and enjoying that time together. It was, like you said, it was almost like the lines disappeared, the lines of separation disappeared, and everybody was together for unity. Awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing. It was awesome. And like you said, it kind of felt like those lines disappeared. I mean, it was not metal anymore. It was not like specific genre. There's no discrimination or no nothing. I mean, people from different age groups, so everything from kids and teenagers to people who were part of a church. Also, that, you know, for the same concert, we have people who were not part of a church and definitely also was opposed to the church. I can remember what it said on the back of one of the ladies' T-shirts, but something about teaching teach the kids the Lord of the ways of Satan or something like that. Terry, I'm sure you can remember what it said.
Yeah.
But so there were everybody in the same crowd, but everybody ended up standing up and just singing along and worshiping, which was amazing. I mean, it was one of the highlights.
Yeah,
it was really good.
Totally was. Yeah. Well, At the Mountain is in moving forward quickly. I love that, and a lot of good times ahead. And Andreas, you must be so excited to get back to Denmark.
Yeah, it's unbelievable. Like this, since At the Mountain started last year, God has just opened one door after another. I had no idea that my family and I would move to Denmark.
Yes.
When the band was started or the project here, so God knew. He just putting one step in front of the other, not giving us too much. And if you don't mind, there was just one verse that kept coming to me during the tour and the travel in Denmark, and also this morning. So it's just pretty amazing for what's happening here. From Isaiah 43, where it says in verse 19, "See, I'm doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the desert, a streams in the wasteland." I think
love that. I love that. Yes.
For me, that's kind of the verse for at least my position in the band, probably the band, because we've all been in desert the past 10 years, wondering if God would use us. And we've talked about that here on the podcast before. But it's just amazing. God really is doing a new thing, not just for us, but as we could see, as Jonas just explained, people coming together for worship and for curiosity. Where the genre is ends up being secondary. It's drawing people in, but then people enters the mountain of worship in God's presence. Amazing.
Well, and you guys did a great job. And Jonas, you had a help on your arm because
still swollen from from there. Yeah,
gross.
And he would,
it was pretty crazy.
He would wear that sling and that I don't know what you call that to help his arm because his arm hurt so much. He would wear that during the day and then take it off and play the drums. And I don't know how you did it. That went on. Morton had a bad throat, and he told me every time he sang it felt like broken glass in his throat. It still came off so great, even through all of that. So didn't you think so, Terry? I don't think anybody could tell there was a problem.
No, actually, I think everything went about as good as it could be, especially considering this was the first time that all four of us have played together.
Yes.
Because it's been down here with me in Kenya on my back porch. It's been, Jonas and Morton, but we had Andreas kind of, piped into the recordings through, internet and everything else.
Yes.
And then finally getting us all in the same room and all getting on the same page. It was honestly just a really magical experience. And I felt like we were all just highly caffeinated, spirit filled, and in one accord.
I like the highly caffeinated part. That's good.
Oh, yeah.
And of course, that's important.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So, isn't it amazing how you can put a band together? I sat with David Husvik early on in Sweden, and we just sat around to catch up and stuff. David, the drummer for Extol, but he played with Tourniquet, and I said, so how is it going, with Tourniquet? And he goes, I've never played with them yet. This was the day before the concert, 2 days before the concert. They hadn't even practiced yet, and said, I haven't played with him yet. Of course, he's in Flood, which is a great band, and with Gary, but they'd never done that, and he pulled it off like there was no problem. And again, a band that came together. You guys, you click together because it isn't just about playing, it's about your heart, how you feel about each other, the relationship you have with each other. All of that is massively important when it comes to the stage, isn't it? Same thing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And and Andreas, you've played with all of these guys in the past, haven't you?
Terry and I still, my memory,
Yeah.
but I still recall playing worship with you at Rock Church in Illinois. But that's the only thing. It's so, Terry and I, we've known each other for over a decade, but it's now that we're actually becoming deep friends and brothers. So we're gonna make up some lost time. And Jonas and I played and toured around.
Yes.
Also with you, Pastor Bob, around Europe and the States, Cornerstone, Souls Today, and Morton, of course, and Barricades.
So a lot of good history. Bob Adams says, "Is that Mr. Andreas? Good to see him. People are excited to see you on the screen, Andreas."
Well, thank you. I'm still pinching myself. Thank God it's not done with me yet. So
awesome. That's awesome. Well, you guys, this is the beginning of a whole lot of ministry.
It's the beginning. Keyword beginning.
Yes. Yes.
And you know what? I'm not sure if it's actually official yet on the website, but the biggest Danish Christian music festival have just confirmed today that they're booking us as one of the main names for this summer to come and be there and do worship there.
Awesome.
So they normally have up to 5,000 people coming just to hang out, get some preaching, worship, and so they booked us in, and it's from the Indre Mission, which is one of the more conservative parts of the church in Denmark. So for them to actually come out and say this is something they want is
wow.
It's unbelievable. It's like a miracle. I mean, for them to come and say this is what they want is one of their main names.
Yes.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
That is fantastic. Well, it's the first of many doors that are about to open, and we're excited for that. Well, you guys, it was so good hanging out with you this last week. I enjoyed it. It was just good to be there with you in person. It's always good to see you on the screen, but to see you guys in person was awesome. And it was great hanging out. It was not the last time. We're going to do this a whole lot more, and I'm excited.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited to be your biggest cheerleader.
Thank you.
And I enjoyed it so much, so much, so much. So, folks, if you haven't done it yet, you need to go to Spotify first and kind of check it out. See what you can find. At the Mountain is the name of the band. Visit intenseworshiprecord.com. And you'll see that, and got some more surprises coming up with Intense Worship as well. We'll talk about in the future. But make sure you check out the music, check out what's going on. And you guys, thank you so much for joining me this morning. We'll do this again. I love our updates with the band. People are feeling like your family. They get to know you, and you'll have some good fans around the world, I'm sure. So, well, folks, don't go away. We're going to be right back. We have our good friend Rex Scott coming up from X Center. Want to see what those guys are doing, and we'll return in just a moment.
BMI Event Center is proud to announce the return of Barren Cross. Barren Cross, Saturday, April 12th at 7 p.m. at the BMI Event Center.
Barren Cross.
Playing all your favorite hits.
Rock for the King.
Atomic Arena.
State of Control.
Rattle Your Cage. And all their top hits from your favorite albums.
Barren Cross.
With special guest, X Center.
This is Michael Drive from Barren Cross. We are performing on the 12th, and you need to be there. We love doing Barren Cross concerts for you, so come and rock with us. Let us meet you.
Barren Cross, Saturday, April 12th at 7 p.m. at the BMI Event Center. Meet and greet passes are available. For more information, you can visit their website at bmieventcenter.com. Welcome to the Atomic Arena.
Presented by BMI Event Center.
And we're back with my special guest today. Rex Scott is here with us in studio. Well, not in studio. We're in the studio. He is on the internet somewhere around the world. Rex Scott, good to see you this morning. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's great to be here, Pastor Bob. Good to see you again.
It's good to see you again. So, dude, we've got so much to talk about, so much to catch up on. And
Yeah.
we've got a lot of fans out there that are excited to hear from you. So we just saw the concert coming up, and by the way, that was all about Barren Cross. It says with special guests, X Center. You're not a footnote. That you're an equal part of this concert. I have a feeling Jim Laverty put the ad together with there you go.
We're just glad that Barren Cross is sharing the stage with us.
Oh,
We're happy to
yeah.
open up for them.
So we've been doing this for a while, Rex.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a few years. Tell me, what year did X Center actually get started? I can't remember. It
89,
80. I was
88, 89.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
you've been going for a while. My first recollection, in fact, the first time I ever heard of the band was through Dino Elefante. Dino,
Ah,
yeah, telling me about this band that he was very excited about. Uh,
right, right.
yeah,
Y-
and
Yeah, we were one of the first bands on their new label at that
yeah,
time, Pachyderm. Yeah.
yes, and we're working with Dino again now here in Nashville,
Ah,
which is cool.
yeah.
We
Yeah, yeah, they're out there. Yeah.
we've done so many projects with him, but that was the beginnings way back when. And gosh, what a great way to start. I think one of the best producers really around. Um,
Yeah, they work hard.
yes, 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 very much. So
Yeah.
tell us about the inception of the band. How did it come together, and what was the focus at the beginning?
Well, it's really was founded by Greg Bishop, the lead guitar player, who's still the director of the show.
Yes,
And Greg was at the time going through he was working as an electrical engineer in Los Angeles, and he was also pursuing a master's degree in theology and a major in church growth. And so he decided to put together the band, and that's how it really began. And it just went from there. I was in the Midwest playing with Zion, another band at the
yes,
time,
yeah,
and yeah, and so they called and said, "Hey, we need a singer." And so I went out and auditioned, and then we went into the studio and recorded, the albums, and then we went on tour, and then it became so much of a back and forth because Zion was located in the Midwest, and so it was a lot of back and forth flying. I'd fly out to record, fly out to tour, fly
yes.
home, and so then we decided to move in '92, and so then I moved out there permanently, and I've been out there just in Orange County, south of LA, the last 28 years. I just recently moved back to the Midwest.
Did you? Are you
Yeah.
another California escapee?
Yes,
Right.
I am.
Okay.
Yes, I am.
As are we all, right?
Yeah, that's
That's
right.
so. The beginnings of the band.
Yeah.
Tell me your musical influences, because people guess at that a lot, as you
Oh,
know.
sure.
Um,
Right.
who were your influences?
Well, it was the usual growing up. When I was very young, I'm an old man, and so I saw the Beatles on Ed Sullivan,
Yes,
and
me
that
too.
that changed my life. And from that point on, I think I kind of wanted to be in a band, and then it didn't really happen until I got out of high school. I drummed for a long time, and originally in the original Zion lineup back in 80, 81,
Yeah,
I drummed and sang from the drums, and we all sang.
yeah,
And so and then I eventually I wanted to write songs, and I always had kind of played guitar. And so then I started playing guitar more and became more the front guy in Zion. And then, and that transitioned over right into X Center.
yeah.
So that's kind
Awesome.
of how it all went.
You kind of had all the jobs down, and that helps with the band too when you can
Yeah.
play other instruments and you understand the mechanics of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I was glued to the TV set on the Ed Sullivan Show when the Beatles
Oh,
came on
yes.
too. It changed my life. And can I just say, and
Yeah.
and tell anybody this, but the Beatles are
Okay.
still my favorite band.
Oh, yeah. They're one of my top two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was having a stressful day yesterday in Frankfurt, and I thought I just need to listen to the Beatles. So I
Right.
had it going in my headset. Yeah, because it's a calming. And
Oh, yeah. Very much so. I mean, and then, as the years go by, you get older, and then you're a youngster growing up, and then the contemporary music of the time, you got heavier and heavier was kind of the trend in the music.
Yes.
And then so I really enjoyed, the transition into the Led Zeppelin era, and
Right.
pretty much the traditional stuff. And I like all kinds of music, though.
Yeah, me
I know
too.
as you do too.
Yeah, me too. And I haven't gotten spiritual enough to appreciate country western yet. I'm working on that, and as I grow in the Lord, it might happen. I don't know, but I agree with you. There's so many great styles of music. Well, Rex, it's been such a a, a great experience and opportunity for you guys to minister to so many different uh, kinds of people all over the world. You
Yeah.
guys had such a great ministry for all of this time. And I've seen you, well, we've been at Elements of Rock together and other places,
Hmm.
but you've had this opportunity and you still do. You're still going, still playing. Uh, what is that like after 1988, 1989? You're going on almost 40 years with this. How does that
Yeah.
to you?
It's humbling, and it's exciting at the same time. I mean, we try to do the best that we can do, and it's such a multifaceted thing when you have a outreach like this that does the things that we do, and we get to play in places that a lot of places or a lot of people don't get to play. I mean,
Yes,
and the Troubadour in Hollywood, or the Whiskey,
yes,
and you just don't know what's going to happen. You just want to try to be faithful, and you just want to try to do the best that you can do and present the best you can do. And that was always the intent of the band. Greg saw the vision and had the vision as a reach out to be able to have a high quality standard of a music platform to actually work from, minister from, whatever you want, the term you want to use. And it's so multifaceted because you get a lot of letters that you don't expect, from someone that said, I listened to this song you did and it changed my life. Or I was thinking about, I was kind of suicidal. I heard this song.
yes,
And you try to be available to do the best that you can do and love the most people that you can love, no matter where you're at. And that's kind of what has been the foundation of the band since
yeah.
the beginning, really.
That is so awesome. And we have such an awesome opportunity to be the hands and the feet, and in your case, the mouthpiece sometimes of Jesus Christ to present another alternative to the suffering in the world, and the alternative, the one that actually works. That
Yes,
would be just such an awesome thing for you all these years.
yeah, it's just, I mean, I'm humbled by it. I just really am. I don't really know what to even say about that. It's too much.
I like that. Well, and it's exciting for me as I travel and as we do more and more festivals to see how much some of the older music, some of the music get, that was popular in the 80s, the 90s, really making a comeback with this present generation. Uh,
Yeah, it
You know,
is something to see.
you're not done yet, Rex. We're not.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
we're not. I guess we're not, are we?
No, no, and it's still going on, still moving forward. So you've got to be excited for this concert coming up
Uh,
at the BMI. That's where we do Immortal Fest, and
right.
will you be at Immortal Fest this year?
Not this year. I don't believe so. Yeah,
Okay,
no.
but you have in the past, and
Yeah,
it's so great to see so many of the older bands that actually got together for Immortal Fest and are still going, still playing, and all
yeah,
of a sudden the venues are there. I love seeing that come back, and
yeah.
yeah,
The
it's
the audience is great because you have such a wide range of mixture of people. You've got your old original fans, you've got new fans, and then you've got the old original fans with their kids.
Yes.
And so I love seeing the kids too. It's just it's wonderful.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? It's first and second generation now.
Yeah.
To the concerts, and we see that so much, internationally, as you know, fathers
Yeah.
sons coming to the festivals. The
Yeah.
fathers into more melodic style or whatever, maybe older style.
Yeah.
Sons that are into black metal, and when you do both styles, there you go.
Yeah. It's awesome. It's really
It,
awesome.
and Rex, there are 17 different genres of heavy metal now.
My
I know.
my.
Yeah, isn't that something?
Unbelievable.
Don't
Yeah,
ask.
we've seen that change in our lifetime, Bob.
Yes. Yeah, we really have. And it's been exciting to see that now it isn't just an older generation, it's a new generation that really embraces the whole thing. When you say
Yeah.
you're a metalhead, they embrace the whole community. I
Mm-hmm.
love that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Back when we started in Zion, that was 1980, 81, and there
Yeah.
was nothing. There was nobody. There was only when
No.
I finally heard Res Band Colors, that album just really
Oh, it's
shook
great.
me up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I love that. And dude, it's to say that it's been a blessing would be an understatement.
Yeah,
But
very much so.
I have a feeling that the biggest blessings are still ahead. I
Uh,
really, and
yeah.
I talked about this in every country that I was in the last few weeks, that I
Hmm.
really feel like we have a revival coming in the family, in the metal family. We are metal, we are family. In this family, there is
Mm,
such a revival, and I saw it everywhere I went. So
mm,
I think that you know one of the exciting things for me, Rex, was coming out of the Jesus Revolution, that
hmm.
Jesus People movement, being
Yep.
in California, being in the
Yep.
the tent, all the original bands, working with those guys, and then in 1985 when we started Sanctuary, it felt like another revival because it hit hard and heavy and so many people, and so I kind of know what that feels like, and I have
Sure. Yeah, you've seen it before.
yeah, I have that feeling again. We're
Mm,
on the precipice of the same things happening again, and I couldn't be more excited.
yeah, that's excellent.
Yeah,
Excellent.
it is. So get your road gear ready. Let's go.
We're ready. We're ready. Yeah, we've been working on this new album for on and off for a few years now, and the fans are just so they've been patient but yet impatient, and it's been hard because it's been a long haul for us, and we're closing in on the very end segment of it, but we've got probably about 3 songs left to finish off or so, and
Awesome.
yeah,
Well, Rex,
so
it's not an easy thing to do an album. I mean,
no,
I don't think people really understand just the kind of work that's involved with this. When
right.
when did you decide to do another album? Did you feel like you were writing songs, you had enough material, it's time to do an album, or how did it come about?
Yeah, we've been playing along with a lot of the material for quite a while, and it just started to uh, come together, with ideas and kind of a direction, and we felt that to be able to go out again, it seemed like every time we would do a record, like when we did World Covered in Blood, then there was kind of a resurgence and more opportunities for us to do things,
Yes.
and so. Uh, yeah, it was a long process, and it's slowly come together, and it's kind of we've had hitches and things like every other album. Our engineer's wife had to have surgery, so we had to take a month off. There's all these things that take up the time or take away from it, and we have our families and everything too, and so It's
Right.
not like the old days when we were on Pachyderm and you had 6 weeks or however to, record a record
Yes.
and
Yes.
get it done. And that it's been good that way because, I was telling John earlier that, we had a couple songs that were ready to go for the album. And then we decided here just recently, well, they're not up to the standard we want for this record. And so,
Well,
you take 2 songs out and that puts you 2 songs back to where you want to be, and so that extends the time and everything. And people want to, so we're trying to be faithful and give them a little bit of some taste on our Facebook page and so forth that to keep them happy, but it's coming. It'll be here this year, but pretty sure.
that's exciting. It's exciting. And it's exciting that you're still really focused on excellence. I love that. Your albums have always been excellent. Rex, I used to tell people when we had Intense Records that, I used to tell them to write 20 songs and then record 10 of them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's
whatever song you write is going to be that song that you really want for people to listen to.
yeah,
And
that's very true. Very true.
it's good that you're ready to change and to sort
Now,
of.
if the fans can hang in there, it's coming.
Well, I think they are. They're anxious, but they're waiting. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So very exciting. So tell us a little bit about your schedule. You guys are doing this concert on the 12th, by the way, and let's promote that again. It is
Okay.
coming up really soon.
Yeah, April 12th. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're as soon as we leave this interview, I'm going to go back down into the studio and so I've got that, and then we're rehearsing to do the show as well. And so kind of busy right now on all fronts. And when we get back from the show on the 12th, I have to have a surgery done on the 14th. Yeah, just an outpatient. It's no big deal.
Yeah.
And so I've got that, and then I'll have 2 weeks of recovery time there. We'll just see where things go from there.
Life happens, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Sure does.
Well, good days ahead. And there are people out there watching us right now, and we have thousands of people that watch this show from all over the world. You have a lot of fans out there, people that have loved you through the years and people that are still, you have a very dedicated fan base, don't you?
Yeah. I remember being at Elements that time, the last time I saw you, I believe, in person. And we were in a little corner restaurant an evening before we played, and a gentleman came in from Austria, I believe.
Yeah.
And he saw me sitting in the restaurant, and he had a very thick accent, and he came up and he said, excuse me, I hope I'm not bothering you, but he goes, I have some pictures. Would you mind signing them? And I go, yeah, no problem. And he brings up a briefcase, opens it up, and he's got just a stack of all this stuff to sign, pictures that he had clipped from online and lifted, and just, it was amazing. And then to be able to meet him and people like that, it's always a joy.
That is awesome.
Pleasure.
So awesome. Yeah. And, and wherever you go, you have people that go, aren't you?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. But, you know what that's like.
But as a Christian, Rex, it's obviously it's great to get recognized, and
right.
In music, there's no better place than to be in your element on stage presenting your craft. But what an opportunity and what a blessing when people come up and say, your music has blessed me and touched me for decades.
Yeah, those are the meaningful times. Those are the meaningful things. The emails, the letters that actually people handwrite letters still in this day and age. And
awesome.
Yeah, to receive that type of stuff, I mean, that's really, what it's all about. We want to love our neighbor as ourselves, just like he says in Mark.
Yes.
And there's no greater commandment, than loving God and loving your fellow man more as much as yourself, and hopefully more than yourself.
Absolutely. Well,
And
there's a question for you here, Rex, because
yeah.
you come across like a multi-talented guy with a
Hmm.
lot of steam and energy. Do you ever feel alone in your work in ministry? That's a great question.
You know, you can. I would say, yeah, for sure that can be so, but it's such a. Greg and I are so much like brothers. Greg has changed my life, and like no other. I mean, like no other.
That's
And I have never met anybody that could have been a better mentor for this kid than Greg.
yeah,
And I
great.
really owe everything to him, and in my walk and my beliefs and everything.
Yeah, it's so great. You know, the you hear about a lot of bands who perform on stage and then they can't stand each other off stage. And
Yeah,
there are a lot of those around.
sure.
Um, what a great thing to be good friends with the people that you present the ministry with.
Yeah, yeah. It's total blessing. You
It,
know,
to-
I
yeah,
I just I can't describe how much so it is, and how much Greg and the rest of the guys mean to
and,
me. And
yeah, they really do become family. And what an
yeah,
opportunity to present your craft, your music, and then the other part of that, obviously, the ministry of Jesus Christ, together
hmm,
with people who are your family.
right.
It doesn't
Yeah,
get better than that.
it
Well,
doesn't.
what can people expect moving forward? Do you have more of the same intensity and style? Do you see any other directions? What do you see?
Yeah, no, we've always pretty much been true blue to what we are, and
I
blues
like
based
that.
rock and roll, and
Yeah.
you know, people say, "Hey, all your records sound the same," and I go, "Well, you're probably correct." We take pride in that.
The same style. But I think you're wise in that when you have an iconic style, when people listen to the music, they go, "Oh, that's X Sinner."
Yeah,
That's a big
yeah,
deal. That's a big
yeah,
deal. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
And no, you don't want to mess with that.
No,
You
and when we
get
play the show
respect.
with Barren Cross, we'll be doing, a lot of the older stuff. We'll do stuff off the World Covered in Blood album, and
Good.
we'll do stuff way back, Get It album and the Peace Treaty album, and I think we're going to throw maybe one or two of the brand new songs in there, but we'll
Good.
keep that to a minimum because
Oh,
everybody knows the other stuff.
that is awesome. That is awesome. Well, folks, if you haven't gotten your tickets yet for that show, this would be a great time to do it. Even if you have to drive a little ways, it would be worth the drive. I also think that there is a live stream that you can sign up for, and I don't know the details on that. I was told about it briefly, but I that would be another option. But of course, nothing is ever good through live stream. Well,
No, compared to live.
not as good. Yeah,
Yeah,
better live. Yes, yes, much
yeah,
better live, and that's the best part. So, so Rex, I feel like with so many people coming into the scene, and we used to kind of know every metal band, and these days I hear of new ones every day.
yeah.
And people
Mm-hmm.
say, "What, you don't know about so and so?" And I think,
Mm,
"Well,
yeah.
but there's so many bands out there, and I love that. It means there's more ministry, more opportunity
Mm-hmm.
to present the
Mm-hmm.
gospel." um, do you end up feeling like I do, like a little more of a father in the movement as all the new bands are coming along, and a great opportunity to share, not only share the stage, but possibly share a little wisdom with them too.
Oh yeah, of course, and that's a joyful thing too, because you see these bands and some of them that open for us or whatever, and so young,
Yeah,
and it's just amazing how it's went this far, this long.
and you look at them and you go, "That was me a few years ago." Yeah,
Yeah, Definitely.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Awesome. So, Rex, my friend, so good to see you again.
Yeah,
Really.
it's great to see you too, Bob.
Yeah, appreciate you sharing your heart and your life with us today. And I am one of those that's very excited for the new album. Can't wait for that to happen. Always good to see you guys in concert. Totally enjoy that. There's the new album that is
Yeah.
coming out.
Yeah.
Going
Going
to
out with them.
out one of these days. And again, Rex, there's still time to get their tickets to the
Yes,
concert.
that's right. Yeah. Well, the links are everywhere, so
Yeah,
they should be able to. Yeah.
and do that. Well, my friend, God bless
Okay.
you. Please greet the other guys in the band for me.
Yeah,
And
they do say hello. I wanted to pass that on.
thank you so much. Yeah, I look forward to our next face-to-face meeting, and I'm sure that's going to happen somewhere in the world.
Yep.
Yes. Thank you,
All
man.
right, my brother.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Folks, thank you for joining me today. And we've really had some great weeks meeting with our family all around the world. And everywhere I go, everybody is used to the "we are metal, we are family," and they talk about it all the time. And made some arrangements with some of the guys with distribution in Europe to do just a logo without anything else on it. We are metal, we are family, just because that's such an important thing. And I appreciate Rex and all the folks that have been part of this great movement for this long. That we are metal, we are family, we have something in common, and that is just the best. We got some great shows coming up, folks. Some great guests that you will see in the coming weeks as we continue to talk about music. Larry Dean is with us from Triton. I love that band. And as you know, Jim Laverty has been playing with them as well, and just awesome. Gordon is here from Images of Eden. Great band. We're going to have a good time with him. And of course, Danny from Rage of Angels will be with us on the 23rd. And then our good friend, Gary Hansen from Fear Not at the end of the month. So, folks, don't miss one of these. These are all great shows coming up. We'll have another little bit of an update from At the Mountain as we come to our show next week. I want to do a video so you can see kind of a collage of everything that happened this last week, and we'll play that next week. And some surprise co-hosts coming up, and just a lot of things in the future. So don't miss any of these shows. And folks, I love you. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, you are blessed. So go and